So, I see that you want to pronounce Liyue characters properly in Mandarin Chinese, so that you can flex in front of your friends. Well, let me introduce to you to a language that is even harder than Chinese. Say hello to Cantonese. And yes, Cantonese is a language, not a dialect. I asked ChatGPT that already. Let me teach you how to correctly pronounce Liyue. I mean Liyue characters correctly in Cantonese to, I don't know, flex in front of your friends, I guess. So just to preface on why I'm making this video, I haven't seen anyone go fully in depth towards how to actually pronounce these names in Cantonese. The videos I've seen were either including other languages,
is 학생,
학생, 학생. I'm done. Or just mainly teaching you guys on how to write these characters.
Coat. If you know, you know. Wait,
Oh,
it's
yes!
I'm sure you guys.
Yes,
you guys
boy!
To do it right
Yes,
now.
you don't know how many 50-50s I've lost to her. And they're just like, I don't know, speaking Cantonese and hoping you guys can imitate the sounds. So in this video, I'm going to provide some guidance and also teaching you guys on how to pronounce the Liyue characters in possibly the hardest language on earth, Cantonese. So just some street cred, I've been living in Hong Kong for the past 15 years of my life. However, Chinese is literally my worst subject, cause man can legit fuck my asshole sideways. Also, shout out to Ying, Corey228, and Kcimmy for video inspiration and making this type of video before mine. So go check them out. They're running a pretty small channel, so do be sure to check them out, yeah. Okay, this might be the hardest part in the Cantonese language for English speakers, so if you want to skip it, go to this timestamp on screen and just skip this section. Well, you know, Chinese has this whole pinyin system, right? Yeah, well, Cantonese has something called Yutping. And you know that Chinese has 4 tones? Yeah, well, Cantonese has 9, technically 6. So I'm just gonna introduce all the 9 tones in the Cantonese language right here, because if I were to spread them out and introduce them one by one per character, this video would be over 30 minutes long, I guess. So the first tone is exactly the same as the Chinese first tone, where it's flat on the highest pitch. So like the word sam. Second tone, same as the Chinese one, goes from a low pitch to a high pitch. So like gao. Third tone, it goes flat but at a normal pitch, which is different from the first tone. So like the word for example, say fourth tone, starting at a low pitch and going even deeper, just like having said. So like leng, leng. Fifth tone, starting at a low pitch, but this time similar to the second tone, going up to a normal pitch. So i.e. Sixth tone, it's also flat but at a low pitch, pretty similar to the fourth tone but just slightly lower pitched, to the point where you can't really tell the difference. So like yi, yi. 7th, 8th, and 9th tones are just the same as the 1st, 3rd, and 6th tones, but just stopping at an instant. So for example, sam, where the sound doesn't immediately stop or halt, whereas yat, you can immediately hear the sound stopping. Same goes for bat and lo. So altogether, 3, 9, 4, 0, 5, 2, 7, 8, 6. Alright, Cantonese 9 tones done. Now let's move on to the actual fun part, pronouncing these Liyue characters. We'll go by date of release from version 1.0 all the way to version 4.0 as the video is being recorded. Starting off with Xiangling. So the Cantonese pronunciation is Xiangling. Xiangling. So how to actually pronounce her name right now? Start by saying the word her and then just add an ng voice at the end. And then for ling, it's the same on how you usually say Xiangling. So, and in combination with the Cantonese 9 tones, which I will not elaborate further because this video would take over an hour to make, you get Xiangling. Xiangling. Alright, moving on to one of my favorite characters in the whole entire game of Genshin Impact, Beidou. So, Beidou. It's basically the same as the word buck, like 1 buck, 2 bucks, but just omit the k sound at the end. And to the point where it's almost the same as the 7th tone of the Cantonese language, where it just stops immediately and kind of sounds like a chicken gawking. So yeah, buck. And for dao, don't go and say like dao. don't go too extreme with your mouth. Just say the word dao. So the proper way to pronounce it, bak dao, bak dao. Alright, so the next character, the tongue twister in Mandarin Chinese, Xingqiu. In Cantonese, heng cao. Heng cao. Heng is pretty similar to dan heng, or heng as in past tense of hang, and for cao, you just add a ts sound at the beginning, like t, like in the word let, and then add an ao sound at the end, but don't go too far. So yeah, heng cao. So the next one up is pretty easy, thank God. Ningguang. So Ying guang. Ying guang. So basically how you normally pronounce Ningguang, but change the first N into a Y, to the point where it becomes Ying, like the YouTuber, the streamer, Ying. So paired with the Cantonese intonations, you get Ying guang, Ying guang. However, I personally prefer pronouncing it Ningguang instead of Ying guang, because Ying guang sounds a bit weird, like Ying guang pang or something. But that's just a small habit of mine. You don't have to follow it if you don't want to. Okay, so next one is Chongyun, which is where things start to get a little bit tricky. Why? Genshin doesn't really have an official Cantonese pronunciation for all these Liyue characters. So what happens is that this Chinese character has 3 pronunciations in Cantonese: Chong, Chong, and Zhong. However, the latter 2, if you translate it back to Mandarin Chinese, it'll most likely come out as Zhong and not Chong. Whereas the first one, when you translate it back to Mandarin Chinese, will usually come out as Chong, which is the one we're looking for, and the one we'll be using, and also the one I usually pronounce. So the proper pronunciation is Chongwan. Chongwan. So start by saying the word own, and then add an ng sound at the end, and then add a ch sound at the front, and then pair it with the 4th tone, you get Chong. And then one is just the past tense of win, one. So altogether now, Chongwan. Not Chongwan or Zhongwan, Chongwan. Okay? Okay. Now moving on to everyone's favorite 50-50 destroyer, Qiqi. So in Cantonese it would be tat tat. It's basically the same word repeated twice, so it wouldn't be as long, so hip hip hooray. So how you'd actually pronounce her, I guess it would be the t in let, and then the word ut in but. But don't go like t. Don't go and pronounce the letter T. Stop pronouncing the letter T when you speak English. Kind of like the word but, where you don't really pronounce the letter T and kind of remain silent. Just add that at the end. So, tut tut, tut tut. Alright, now our favorite cat girl in the entire game of Genshin Impact, Keqing. So, I guess it would be Kcimmy. Kcimmy. So, Kcimmy. The huck part is basically just the word huck, like H-U-C-K. I don't know if that word exists, but without the k sound at the end, kind of like Beidou, like bak dao and Kcimmy, you know? The same thing, same logic. And the ting part is, the ts is the same, the t in let, and then add an ing at the end. So ting. All together now with the Cantonese intonations, Kcimmy, Kcimmy. Next one, the character that nobody knew existed, Xinyan, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Sun Yim. Sun Yim. So, Sun is basically the planet in our solar system, Sun. And then Yim is just basically YIM, like Yim, I guess. So, fairly simple, I guess. Sun Yim. Sun Yim. Now finally, to everyone's favorite Geodaddy, the man himself, Zhongli. So in Cantonese, I'd say it's a bit easier, just a tad bit easier. Zhongli. Zhongli. You first say the word own, and then add a G sound at the end, and make ong, and then add a J in front. So Zhong. And then lay is just laying down, I guess. The same thing. The verb, I guess. Lays chips. So now with the Cantonese tones, Zhonglei, Zhonglei. Next one up is our favorite Coca goat, Ganyu. So Ganyu, Ganyu. So the first Chinese character gum is basically the same as chewing gum, the gum in chewing gum. So just say that, it's pretty easy. So the second Chinese character, Yu, kind of similar to the letter U, but don't go like U, just go like flat, like constant, like Y-O-O. Yu, Yu, like Y-U, I guess. So, all together now, Ganyu. So, fun fact about this, right? The word Ganyu seems a bit weird, cause it's literally the same pronunciation as goldfish. Ganyu, Ganyu. So, what I usually do is an improper way of doing things. So I just say Ganyu, Ganyu when I'm talking to my friends or saying casually, because I don't want them to get mixed up, I guess. But that's just me. I'm not sure if anyone else does it, but hey. So the proper pronunciation is Ganyu, and the improper way of speaking for me is Ganyu. Alright, moving on. Next one, the Conqueror of Demons, the Great Yaksha, the Zhao's #1 simp, the #2 short king, cause obviously #1 is Sino, Xiao. So, in Cantonese now, Xiu, Xiu. So, kind of like sewer, but pronounce the EW a bit more, like ew, and then add an S sound at the beginning, I guess. So, Xiu, pretty simple. Alright, the upcoming character, our second best Pyropolarm TPS character, because #1 is obviously Xiangling. I'm not being biased here. Hu Tao. So in Cantonese, Wu Tou. Wu Tou. So I can't really have any references for the word Wu. Just imagine how the W and U sound when paired together, I guess. That's the best advice I can give. So basically the word toe, like it's pretty similar to that, I guess. So yeah. So now in Cantonese, Wu Tou. Wu Tou. Alright, Saul Goodman. Yanfei. So Yanfei. Yanfei. So the yin in Yanfei, I would say is similar to the yin in yin yang, but the I needs to be a long I, not a short one, not like yin, yin, or yi. God, that was so 2015, what the fuck. So yi with an N, I guess, so yin. And fei is just how you normally pronounce Yanfei. So altogether, Yanfei, Yanfei. Okay, so who's the next one? Oh yeah, okay. Yunjin. So I guess in Cantonese it would be one gun. So one. Win but past tense. One. Boom. Easy. Gun. Okay? Razor language. Pog. Good. One gun. So next one is a character that I don't really personally like, but a lot of you seem to like it for some reason. Shenhe. So Cantonese version right now. Sun Hawk. Basically the thing you see every daytime, the biggest thing in our solar system, the sun. So hawk, like pork hawks, I guess, but omit the k sound at the end. Like Beidou, Keqing, Sun Hawk. So, Sun Hawk. Alright, so next character, which I should be thankful for and express my gratitude, since it got me like 27,000 views as of the time of recording. Yelan. So, Yelan. I guess the first part of it, the yeah part, is pretty similar to the word yeah. Like, yeah, boy. But you just omit the part at the end to where it's left with yeah. Yeah. Lan. It's just basically how you normally say Yelan, but at a lower tone. So, Yelan. Yelan. Okay, so the next one up is going to be on the more controversial side of things. Yaoyao. Normally, if you just look at the Yut Peng, it should say Yu. However, in Cantonese, there's something called binyam, which basically translates to changing of tones. So this, for example, should normally be pronounced ma. However, the right way of pronouncing this should be ma. Same with ba and go. And this also applies to Yaoyao, because I've never seen anyone say Yu. So the quote-unquote correct way of pronouncing this should be Yu. So the word Yu is basically just the word few, but instead of the F sound, we change it to a Y sound. So you. So now with the Cantonese tones, you. So the upcoming one might just be the hardest one out of all of them for native English speakers. So the person I'm talking about is Baizhu. So in Cantonese it would be, prepare yourselves guys, bak sut. So let's just dissect each and every character one by one, starting off with bak. Pretty similar to how you say the word back in a British accent, like back, but omit the k sound like how you did with Beidou, Keqing, Shenhe. So it's not back, it's back. Okay, so the worst part about it is that the word back isn't even the hardest part in the whole name. The sut is way worse. Probably something like Wilbur Sut, like if you play Minecraft of course, like how I used to. Just omit the Wilbur and say Sut. That's pretty similar, I guess. Not really, kind of. It's passable, I think, in my opinion. And don't pronounce the letter T, like don't Wilbur Sut. Again, I don't know, this is the best I can do. Bak Sut. Alright, so we've gone through every playable character in Liyue, spoken in Cantonese. So now just to help you like familiarize with the whole Cantonese language, I'm just gonna make a random skit out of this, so I just hope you enjoy. 喂，你而家咪仲玩緊佣金㗎？唔係嘅，香菱對我嚟講唔係特別好玩嘅咋。哦，原來係咁。咁你而家用咩隊啊？啊，胡行野中咯。點解唔用佢啊？佢都幾勁下嘅喎。啊，好似聽講你最近 Y 咗177翻嚟喎，係咪啊？等你死啊！唉，攞個抽達達利亞嗰陣時候，我明明辛辛苦苦咁樣儲咗90幾抽嘅，偏偏個77又要翻嚟喎，好似連個天都想玩我咁樣。唉，是但啦，話明生命冇希望，前路俾車撞嘛。咁你而家用咩隊啊？既然拎唔到達達利亞，黑情咯，拎佢3命，全部都係 Y 翻嚟嘅。用埋北斗、中離、白術，等，點解你唔用飛謝爾啊？黑情唔係好似錯落咁樣做好多普攻啫喎，同埋點解你有2個盾啊？你成日都死咩？啊，唔係啊，我跟個讀啫嘛。罪を償うがいい。